Welcome to Nexus Edge, the show that will help you get an edge on your competition. My name is Turd Herder, and I'm your esteemed host of the Nexus Edge, and this is episode 8. We're going to go ahead and recap week 7 as we get ready to move into the final week of the regular season. So today I've been joined by my stupendous panel. Got a little bit of some changes going on here, so it's going to look a wee bit different. Starting at the top, we have our previous guest panelist, Mongoose, who's filling in for Ziltoid. Hello.
Just call me Sub-Ziltoid.
Sub-Ziltoid. Very nice. And our regular panelist, we have Whoa No.
Coming at you now in full color.
Very nice. Looking very stellar. And this week, we've been joined by someone we think is okay. It's our executive producer, Arthanau.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's going. So you guys have all heard him behind the scenes. He pokes in from time to time, especially if you mention Illidan in the mirror 3 times. He will appear right behind you and say, "Can I play him?" But Arthanau, why don't you give us a rundown? Because the people might not know you since you're always behind the scenes. What are you doing in NGS?
Yeah, so I'm the head analyst. I run the analyst team. You know, all the stats you're seeing from Key, Hemibo, Mongoose, everyone, that's coming from the analyst team, and I just try to poke around and help around there. I do some light editing on Nexperts for Ziltoid show that you see every week. I run Nexus Edge. This is my project with the Nexus Edge panel with Turd Herder, Wano, Ziltoid. Most importantly, those guys, and Key. I do the easy work. I do the recording, and I change the scenes, and the scenes are always messed up, at least one scene. So that responsibility is on me, but that's what I do.
Yeah, and I usually get the messages saying when things are going wrong, and I just like to refer them to you, because it's probably your fault. So.
Yeah, it is. It's every single time it's my fault. If you see a mistake, it's me.
So you play on a team in NGS this season, right?
I do.
That would be the Nexus Cats, correct?
That is correct. I do play on the Nexus Cats.
And so how do you get along with the captain, Mark Zombie?
You know, me and Mark Zombie, we have a real tense relationship, you know. Me being the ex-removed captain and him being the new current captain. So it's real tense sometimes, you know. I'll pop into his Twitch stream from time to time and give him a few mean words for taking my job. And, but you know, he's all right at it. So I guess it's okay that he's the new captain of the Nexus Cats.
Well, but most importantly, he's better than you. So moving on. Before we actually move on, I do want to take a moment to mention the NGS Patreon. We are blessed to be here with Mongoose, who is the are you the head patronizer?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so therefore, if you guys need any help getting to the Patreon website, please help support NGS. Your support goes a huge way. This week we got to vote on cards. So if you've backed at the appropriate level, you get some cool cards with your in-game profile or in Discord profile picture. The link down below. Go ahead and check it out. And yeah, anything else, Mongoose? I think I hit every point this time.
Yeah, coming down to the end of the regular season, so if you want the Season 6 rewards, now is the time. Doesn't matter if you joined next week or 3 weeks ago. We have both some digital rewards, which some have already been sent out, some will be sent out shortly, and physical rewards, which will be sent once the regular season wraps. So if you're interested, now's the time. We even have a tier named after Weenus. If you want to know the rewards, go check it out.
Check it out. And I know I'm getting a mouse pad with NGS on it. I'm looking forward to it. So, very nice, guys. Now, let's talk about what happened in the Nexus. Mongoose started out for us. What happened for you and your team this week in the Nexus?
We had a pretty great set versus Soak Every Lane. We fell 2-1, which, while disappointing, it was encouraging in that we're technically still able to dodge virtual Murky Slayers and climb up to 7th. Really, that's the goal now. So it's mathematically possible, however unlikely. Depending on how the set goes next week. We had one fantastic game, probably the best game we played all season, and then 2 really competitive games for those guys. It was a lot of fun.
Very nice. Wono, what happened with Logical Decision? You got to do double time now that Ziltoid's
I'll do double time. I'm so glad you asked because my favorite topic is me, in fact. However, Logical Decision, tough game. We played the aforementioned virtual Murky Slayers that Mongoose was just so happy to avoid. We weren't quite so lucky, and like the little green fish, we were in fact slain. It was an 0-2 for VMS. We put up a decent fight, but didn't quite have it in us. That being said, we're still doing plenty flying in the standings. We'll make the playoffs, so excited to see them later on in the playoffs and have a rematch against them. Very
nice. And Regen, you guys have made the playoffs, right? Or is it's depending?
You know what? I have it up. Let me pull. I'm pretty sure there is a really bizarro scenario, I think, where we could technically not make the playoffs, but it would be pretty unusual. I think we're pretty much into 8th.
Got it. Nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
All right, Arthanau, go ahead and tell us, what did you and the Nexus Cats do in the Nexus this week?
Yeah, so we had a really good series against Luciodology earlier this week. If you go back, Game 2 is really quite the match, and it's totally worth your time if you have some time to kill to watch some Nexus Gaming Series. It's quite the wild match. It was 25 minutes of stress for us. We pulled out with the win, spoiler alert, but it was probably one of the most stressful matches of amateur HOTS I've ever played. That's for sure.
Being a cheerleader for that match, I was not as confident that you guys were going to pull it out, but you did. You changed my mind.
Yeah.
So that was very good.
It was something else, and if you really like bat drama, there's a whole lot of bat drama in that series.
That's right.
Yeah, Murda and Weenus put out a really good cast and really entertained us with some delays in between matches. A bat got into the house of the captain of Luciodology. So there was like a good 20-30 minute delay there. And if you like Murda and Weenus, you'll get a good show from those two.
Oh, absolutely.
And ironically, that's only the second best excuse we've had for a delay of the game this season.
What's the best?
Hold on, what's the best?
The best one was when one of the players had to stop playing because he had to go chase a cow.
Oh, yeah, that was us. That was against us, too.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was against us. That was a Noodle Fiasco.
Really?
Yeah, that was our series.
Cats are getting all the good delays this season. Greedy.
Well, anyway, for me, I was not playing with the Nexus Cats this week, although I was cheerleading. But some of you may know I have been placed in Storm League. I am securely and very confidently a Bronze 2. I've been calling it the Blessing of the Bronze, and the games are extremely frustrating. Really makes me want to uninstall. But I won't, because it's the Blessing of the Bronze. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to me gripe in the Discord channel, and we'll... just ask me about it.
Twitch series to come soon. TM.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to stream so people know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know, what do I know? Maybe someone will come in and say, "Turd, you're doing this wrong. Just do better," and I'll get better, or I'll just stay in bronze forever. It's really polarizing. I don't know. So,
well, Turd, why haven't you streamed it yet?
Ooh.
That hurts right here. I have been locked out of my Twitch account. The wonderful people from the nation of China have decided that they wanted my account. So
as an entire nation, to clarify, the entire nation got together. They voted on this. Turd Herders was the one that came up as #1.
Yeah.
So as a nation, they took over his Twitch account.
Yep. And I was even telling Arthanau earlier, I'm more frustrated that they didn't take over my account and like make a bunch of purchases. Like, they haven't done anything. They just took over my account. So it's like, just do something. Like, at least try and steal money from me. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways. Let's move on to some real deal Heroes of the Storm. People that are much better than me Mongoose, since you're filling in with for Ziltoid, why don't we hear about some trending teams, players, and heroes out of Heroic?
Well, Heroic had 2 matches this week, and both were interesting for their own reasons. But first one, Montreal Style Bagels actually had their first match win of the season, dropping Insomnia 2-1, so closing the regular season strong. But really, the matchup that everyone has been waiting for took place Friday evening, with Abusement Park and Celeb Gaming squaring off. Going in, they had the exact same map record, 12 wins, 1 loss, undefeated in matches, and the only game either one of them had lost was 1 game versus Revive. So the exact same record to the exact same opponent. Winner gets number 1 seed in Heroic, and Abusement Park pulled it out 2-1 in a thrilling finish to Game 3, which maybe we'll see later. And
spoilers,
spoilers. And now, because Heroic is a double elimination playoff bracket, their playoffs start a week earlier. So next week, actually, Heroic playoffs will get started. Division A.
Yes, moving on
to Division A. 9 matches last week, and Division A actually has an extra week because they're larger before their playoffs start. But 9 matches last week. Number 1, Nobo Esprouts picked up a 2-0 versus Nightwood, so they're still solidly in first place. Queen's Consorts 2-1 Sky 5, so really nipping at their heels. Dread Pirates, though, in third place, catching up to Queen's Consorts, actually picked up 6 points this week with 2 2-0 dominations. Gimme the D Shield picked up a 2-1 over Ferrets. PFM actually played 3 matches this week. They lost 0-2 to Dread Pirates and Regen Retro, and won 2-1 versus Team Name. So PFM starting strong, but they've actually only won 1 match in their last 6, being dominated 3 times. So they're kind of slipping down the standings a little bit, still right in the middle in playoff contention, but they're right in that big group of teams that's really close in points. So it's going to be a little bit of a watch for them down the stretch. Regen Retro picked up their first 2-0 over PFM. They've now won 2 straight. Luxorian Sun picked up a 2-0 versus Team Name and fell 0-2 to Sky 5. And Sky 5 has been actually at the bottom of the standings in Div A pretty much the whole season, but they had a really good week. They picked up their first domination over Lux Sun, and even though they lost to Queen's Consorts 2-1, that you picked up a point versus the second place team. That's a small win in of itself. So Sky 5 picked up 4 points this week in 2 matches.
Now, Mongoose, how many teams in Division A make the playoffs? So it's 8.
Correct.
Oh, phew, I did the math real quick there. Counting is hard.
Yes, sir.
All right, so they're the same as just about every other division besides Heroic?
Correct.
Okay. So it looks like if we were to call it today, as we record this mid-Sunday day, Regen Retro would be the 8th team, but it's still real close.
It's very close. And worth noting, a couple of teams actually have a number of games in hand. There have been some procrastinating in the scheduling for some of these teams. And when we go over teams to watch, I'll mention one in particular, which really has a marathon a couple weeks coming up.
Very nice. Schedule those games, guys. Although we should have made that PSA a couple weeks ago. But
for sure.
Any players out of Division A that you think we should know about?
It's really the usual suspects when you look at the stat leaders. It's the guys from, Queen's Consorts and Nobo Esprouts and Rexpa leading the statistics. So not much new in that department there.
Got it. Any interesting hero compositions? Any more heroes popular this week than last week?
Well, I don't know about more popular this week than last week, but I'm still looking at this Zeratul 83% win rate in an A is absolutely bonkers. Why he's getting through ever is absolutely beyond me. Now, that's only in 12 games, but Thrall 78% in 23 games. So
that's still pretty good.
A,
in
watch
23?
those Thralls. 23 games.
Oh, wow.
That's what my handy-dandy spreadsheet says. 78% in 23 games. So Division A. Play Thrall, play Zeratul, or ban Thrall. Ban Zeratul.
There you go. Shout out to
advice.
Key with those Division A stats for you. on the at least the hero picks and the players, I think, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Whoa. Tell us about Division B.
Division B. I want to start with heroes first. So for top 10 popularity, not much has changed. You still got your big three tanks in Diablo, Anub, Johanna. You got your supports Ana, Taran, Stukov still hanging in there despite his crappy win rate we've talked about. But just under top 10, Maiev slides in at 11th for popularity, coming in about 46% of games, though banned significantly more than she's played. But in the game she's played, her win rate is sitting at a 27.3%. So out of those games that she's made it in to Division B, she is not performing like she should be. I don't know if who's playing it. I haven't paid too much attention to the Maievs going in, but it doesn't seem like when she is making it through that's paying off for the teams that are playing her.
Which is definitely different than, Division A or Heroic or even some of the other divisions. You'd expect a high win rate with Maiev, so very interesting. And
what it might be is maybe these teams just aren't getting enough practice with her because she's banned so often and not played so often. So when they are picking her up, they go in expecting her to be this wrecking ball of a hero and find out that no, she takes a little more finesse and mechanical skill and also team support around her.
Absolutely.
Like, Maiev is very much one of those heroes that the rest of the team needs to play around her engages and her heroics and things, or else she doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. Moving on to just teams and standings, Division B West has kind of solidified the top 8 teams for playoffs. There still could be some shakeup in where those teams land, but you can expect to see number 1 through 8 making the playoffs at the very least, and Virtual Murky Slayers is going to go to number 1 seed. I don't think there's any way that they get knocked off. B East is a little more interesting, and I really want to highlight one game from last week in particular, and that was the HOTUS versus Ghillie Shark game. If you haven't seen that game, it's one to watch. Ghillie Shark had dropped one map previous to that series, undefeated in as far as overall matches, lost an 0-2 to HOTUS, a team I know that they have some history with. HOTUS, prior to this, was kind of doing pretty good. It's a tough division, so they were mid to high in the pack, and they've slid into number 2 seed after that 2-0 against Ghillie Shark. Honestly, at this point, anything could happen. HOTUS just took out the top team. NUES is right there. Minion Miners is right there. Reborn Knights Black has been rebounding into a good spot. And even at the lower ends of the division, I don't think it's quite solidified who's going to make the playoffs and who might slide in, who might slide out. So keep an eye open for the last week and a couple games for B East, because there's still a lot of uncertainty in that division there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
what about
I'll chime in real quick too. HOTUS, not just winning a 2-0 versus Ghillie Shark. Game 2, they were absolutely dominant.
It was a commanding 2-0.
Completely ran over Ghillie Shark. And since then, they've actually taken out 2 other teams and just rocketed up the standing. So HOTUS, really watch them. They seem to be kind of peaking right as the regular season is ending. And this is the 2-time reigning B East champion. So maybe they were playing a little bit of possum during the regular season before we go into playoffs.
Who knows? Anything else out of Division B that you want to talk about? Whoa.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get the B stats for players, but I'm just going to go real quick through Stats of the Storm to give us some rapid-fire stats.
Rapid-fire stats.
Seabrisket rocking a great KDA, 12.05 with 10 games played, so good job, Seabrisket. Moving over. DPM. Who's rocking DPM?
I don't know.
I'm trying to see if they played enough games. Fragstellar, still really high DPM. Where'd it go? 3,524.97. HPM is here. Go fast. Don't take too much time. Go, Wodo, go.
Well, and speaking of Stats of the Storm, it's a great service. But as the season gets later, those searches just take a little bit extra time.
Yeah. Freckle Pants. 7,980. Oh no, that's the wrong stat. Sorry, 3,677.2 HPM. And let's go all the way over to the fun stats real quick. Who's leading in B steps? Taco Cat, 44 B steps. What a god, Taco Cat. Taunts. 87 taunts from Chemo Tripson out of Ghillie Shark. And Who's got their dance game on point? Chemo Trips in 53 dances too. What legend. What a guy.
When you're winning that much, you got time to taunt and dance, you know.
Well, he did until Hodis came along. And I think that does it for Beef for this week.
Very nice. Alrighty then. Arthanau, since you are our guest panelist this week, you have the absolute privilege of covering Division C. And since you are our executive producer, I know you've done your absolute best homework here. So why don't you give it to us? Trending teams, players, and heroes for Division C.
Yeah, so I want to start off with C West and their hero stats. So the most popular, I have it separated by role. So in Assassin, we got Kael'thas with the 68.2% popularity. That's bans and picks. So I like to believe that it's mostly bans. People just don't like playing around Kael'thas, but he has been picked a fair bit in NGS. He actually has I believe it's a 47% win rate. I don't have that set in front of me right now, but I know he has one less win than he does losses. So right below the 50% threshold. Most popular tank is a Nubarak with an 89.4% win rate. No popularity, I'm sorry. Bruiser, we got Sonya with the 39.4% popularity, which is pretty interesting if you ask me, because there are, in all the other divisions, much more contested bruisers like Sexy Rexy,
Leoric,
Imperious, Rexar,
Malthael.
In fact, I would consider Sonya like the least contested bruiser currently. So it's actually quite interesting that in C West, Sonya's getting as much play as she is. It's a 39.4% popularity, but she is the most popular bruiser right now. For healing, we got Stukov with a 63.6% popularity rate, which I'm a big Stukov fan. That makes sense to me. So C West, we kind of have a pretty straightforward picture with the playoffs. So we have the 8 teams in playoffs determined already. Even though we have one more week to play, we have 8 teams for sure playing in the playoffs already set. Seeding will change up, but we got Rush B, Can't Counterpick Stupid, Ginormous Jaegers, Dive Hard, Plug Walk, Paraloot, Lurk Patrol, and that task, though, all in playoffs. Those 8 teams will for sure be in playoffs. We'll probably see some moving around with the standings between that task, Lurk Patrol, Paraloot, and Plug Walk, as those teams are actually kind of tight, and the bottom 2 teams I listed still have 2 games to play, where everyone else only has 1 more game to play. So there's going to be quite a bit of movement when it comes to seedings, but those 8 teams are in it. Rush B has a pretty firm hold on C West for first seed. Mm-hmm. They still have 1 more game to play, as well as the second seed team, so we could see that change. Actually, no. Rush B has a guaranteed first place finish. Because So congrats to Rush B, because Rush B has 22 points, second place has 17 points. Both of those teams only have 1 more game to finish, so mathematically speaking, Rush B has secured a first seed, so Can't Counterpick Stupid is fighting for the mirror seed and second seed. So let's see, moving on over. Actually, no, we got some fun stats. So B steps, Logic. He has 7. This is a very not toxic division, apparently, because there's only 7 B steps for the first place guy over here.
We need more memes.
Yeah, those are. We got to pump those rookie numbers up.
Yeah.
And so, more serious stats, KDA. We got Vantage with a 16.25 KDA. We got damage per minute, T-Time with 4,073 damage per minute. Damage per death, we got Thorin with 130,543. Healing per minute, we got DB Smiley on 3,861. I believe he's been on top healing per minute every week for the season.
Very nice.
Definitely a couple of the weeks.
Yeah. I need to double check that, but he's been up there a lot. So DB Smiley is quite the healer. Damage taken per death, we got Pharaohs with 41,547. So he does not die a lot. And then, highest win rate heroes. We got Sylvanas with 90% on 10 games. So that might be that Ziltoid video, you know. Might be worth looking into those videos, but seeing the talents. But Sylvanas is pretty up there. Tyrael with 81.8% over 11 games.
Huh.
Bruiser, we got Imperius with 57.1 over 14 games, and Deckard with 69.2% over 6 games. So, C-West doesn't seem to really care about what the meta is. That's for sure.
Just doing whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and the lowest win rate on C-West, we got Li Ming with 21.4% over 14 games. We got Garrosh with 25% over 8 games, Varian with 22.2% over 9 games, and Lili 20% over 5 games. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you about C-West. They march to the beat of their own drum.
And that is just fine for me.
Oh yeah, that makes them interesting, that's for sure.
There you go.
So,
anything else out of Division C that you wanted to mention?
No, I still got C East. I got a lot of stuff.
Holy cow. Go ahead.
You know, head analyst doing his homework. Thanks, Key.
Keeping it up, yeah.
So, C East is a little bit closer whenever it comes to playoffs. There is no one mathematically eliminated. I say that. One team has been mathematically eliminated from playoffs. Everyone else is fighting for it. So, 10 teams, 8 spots left. And the Found Vikings have secured first seed. That is a guaranteed thing. Almost Legends has secured second seed. Actually, second seed... No, that...
Regen Red can dominate and get second place.
Almost Legends won that matchup, though.
Oh.
So
you've done your, like, homework.
Pretty sure Regen Red actually has a tiebreaker over Almost Legends.
Do they?
Oh.
Sure.
Oh, let me check that. I'm gonna mix that up.
Yeah, they beat them. So
they did? Oh, well then in that case, if Regen Red dominates their last match, Regen Red has second place. So
head analyst.
Oh, I know. So the rest of the division is a lot more tighter than C West. There's a whole lot of movement that can happen between everyone. The bottom seeds are in a pretty scary position. Winky Face really needs a big domination coming up if they don't want to be knocked out by Bancho, who still has 2 more matches left. Winky Face has 1 more match left. Bancho is 1 point behind Winky Face with 2 matches. So that's going to be real tight for that last playoff seed. And everyone else is pretty well contested for the middle seeds, about 4th through 7th place. So that'll be real tight. So I'll try and go through these real quick because I've been taking up a lot of time. So most popular assassin, we got Kelithos with 78.7%, Johanna with 82.4%, Rexar with 38.9%, and Anna with 62%. So those are a lot more meta picks. So the grand finals between C West and C East will be real interesting as we take the meta Titans versus the non-meta Titans and duke it out, see some interesting stuff. So Beast Ups, we got B-Train with 85.
Keeping it up, yep, there you go.
We got damage taken per death. We got Death Ocarius, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, with 40,819. Healing per minute, we got Sailor Sky with 4,579. We got damage per death, Pokemaster, 35,910. Damage per minute, Droopy with 3,564. KDA, Spodicus with 12.5. Spodicus. And, oh!
These names are awesome.
I know, right? And, highest win rate, we got Mephisto with 83.3% over 6 games.
Wow.
I don't even know how to play Mephisto, so that's mind-blowing to me.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I also have one stat for C East before we move on. I just want to point out, Chen, 1 game played, 100% win rate, 5 bans.
Can we guess who that is?
We'll leave him unnamed.
I know the answer.
Tank, we got Blaze with 64.3% win rate, Leoric with 62.5% win rate, and Whitemane with 63.6% win rate over 11 games.
So C East allowing that Whitemane, or getting Whitemane actually played.
Yeah. That's interesting. And lowest win rate, we got Falstad with 11.1 over 9 games. Muradin with 14.3 over 7 games.
That's incredibly low.
Yeah, that's insane. We got Varian with 18.2% over 11 games, and Lucio with 33.3% over 18 games. I'm curious to see what the Lucio stat is across all divisions, because it seems like he is not doing as well as people initially thought he would. upon rework.
Also, what the split on that win rate between before and after the rework?
Yeah,
like how
exactly.
its win rates have been affected by that. That's interesting. That'd be interesting to see.
I'd like to see that.
My guess would be that the win rate went.
That's what, if we're looking at just CEs, that's definitely the case.
I mean, the scuttlebutt at the rework initially was that it was going to be good for Lucio, but once it hit, it seems like nobody has really any interest. I haven't seen a reworked Lucio play in NGS that I've seen or casted.
Well, he did only just become legal this past week, so it's pretty new for him still, but I definitely think that his skill ceiling went up quite a bit with how they changed his trait. He feels quite a bit slower. The new push-off mechanic, there's a lot more involvement in his kit rather than just being a speed bot, heal bot. So I think I like any of those high skill cap heroes, whereas players take more time to play with him and get used to him, his win rate will start to climb back up. Whether he's OP or not, I don't probably think so, but I think it'll at least rise to a more healthy spot.
Do you know what division does not like Lucio?
Tell me about it.
Division D. How'd you know? Lucio has 7 bans, and he was played twice. He has a 0% win rate, and he was 60% popularity overall in the division, sitting at about a 6th place there, 6th or 7th place in popularity overall. So Division D just did not want to deal with. They didn't want to find out if anyone has figured out how to play Lucio or not.
So actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
In regards to Lucio in Division D, it's actually mic unplugged. So
Nice.
There's actually a reason for that. As ex-captain of a Division D team, there's actually let me find his name. Indecisive is an absolutely incredible Lucio player. He's on Frankfurters, and he played him a ton before the rework, and I think a lot of people just did not want to see if Indecisive was gonna like the new
rework.
the new rework, and the Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits healer. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now.
Grogman?
No, it's not Grogman.
I thought Grogman was the healer.
No, he plays Murky.
No, he's the Murky's player.
Yeah, he's the one who gets Murky banned against him. I can't think of his name, but he's also a Lucio main, and there's like 2 other Lucio mains in Division D, so I think just a lot of teams really did not want to find out what the rest of Division D felt about Lucio, because I know there were 3 teams with almost 100% win rates with Lucio. So, pre-rework, of course.
Could be. All right, I'm going to move on with Division D stats, unless we got anything coming from Division C, Arthanau.
Nope, that's it.
Good to hear. All right, starting with Division D East, Save the Murloc have sneaked their way into the #1 position. I say sneaked because, of course, I made many statements last week. Save the Murloc didn't have a lot of games played, so they played, I think, 2 or 3 games this week. I think they dominated both of them, and they got a lot of points. So they shot up to #1. Nexus Cats falling to #2, a single point behind them, with 1 game less played. So Save the Murloc actually have tapped out. They're maxed out for the season. Full Metal Jacket is still in 3rd. Right behind the Nexus Cats. Frank's Furter's behind them, Lucidology behind them. So the top 5 teams are pretty much set, I think, going into this final week. But there's a lot of movement that can happen between who gets first, who gets second, who gets 4th. I think Arthanau and I were doing the math. There is a potential that the Nexus Cats actually fall to 4th place, depending on what, it takes a series of different things to happen, but it's not impossible. And I think it's literally anyone's division for who takes the #1 seed, depending on what happens this week. And even at the very bottom, there's a little bit of a contention over the 8th place seed. Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits are sitting there with 8 points right now, but Backbone AI has 3 games to play this week, and it's still anyone. Either one of them could make it in or out of the division, depending on what happens. And it is. I should back up and note, Division D has 4 games happening after the recording of this show for week 7. So it's not a great division to to analyze and talk about on air, because 4 of their matches are happening after this. So anything could change even by the time this airs. So as of right now, though, that's the case over in Division D East. Division D West, we have Clouded Minds still at number 1. I think they have one more game. Is Division D West, is that a 9-game division? Does anyone know?
I believe so. Let me pull it up.
10.
You think it's 10? I thought they had 2 flexes.
It is a 10-game division.
Okay, so there's Clouded Minds have 2 more games to go. So still, and even in that division, a lot could happen. Asmo Carry, number 2. OC Peach Boys, number 3. Boogan Squad, number 4. All of them just 1 number difference between them. OC Peach Boys with the least amount of games to be played. And even the number 8 seed in this one is still really close. The Baddest Dudes, Nexus Turds, and Disturbance. I think Disturbance could potentially get into the finals. It would be a very weird series of events, but it's literally anyone's division at this point. I'm excited. It's a low-end division, but it seems like there's a lot of competition. And, you know, alluding to what I'm going to recommend later, there is not a Division D game this week that I don't think is going to be, you know, playoff implication based. So tune in if you can. Before I get into the individual players, I want to circle back to the heroes. So we still see Anubarak at the top, Joanna follow as far as popularity goes. And this is for the week, by the way. Joanna, number 2 at 80%, Rainer number 3 at 66%. Kael'thas actually fell to about the 5th place spot with a 60% popularity, still sitting at 7 bans though. So I think he's the most banned hero in Division D still. And then also looking at the most games played this week, we had Joanna with 9 games, Rexar with 8, and Anubarak with 8, followed by Rainer and Li Ming, each with 7. So Division D does some weird things. Joanna was not up there last week, but this week she's very popular. Seems like they're getting a lot of Rexar play, but he's only got 37.5% win rate for this past week. So people are playing him, but maybe people are not playing him quite that well. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I play Rexar, and I would probably be right there with everyone as far as losing on Rexar. So let me pull up the Division D individual stats. There we go. So I'll just do this week. Importantly, season-wide stats. Not a lot has changed for the individual players. It seems like the people that were at the top are still at the top for each of their individual stats. But as far as this week, we had Apollo. I think he's on Save the Murloc with 29 kills. That guy on Nexus Cats with 15 KDA, followed by Shadowguard on Nexus Cats with 13.5 KDA. Apollo having the highest average damage this week. And, man, I always mess up this name. Galdry Ice for the highest.
Close.
Yeah, is that right?
It's pretty close. I don't know the exact, but I would say it's pretty close.
Very nice. He had about 96,000. The highest average damage soaked was Cruncher, 77. That guy's out of Frankfurters. He had 112,000 damage soaked, which was 50,000 more than the second place best soaker.
Wow.
So that was really exceptional job on his point. Probably a lot to do with their 35+ minute match.
That was a wild game. If you have time to watch, it's Save the Murloc versus Frankfurters, game 1.
Yeah,
Ragnaros came out and really dragged out that match and exhausted both teams before game 2 even happened.
Was it Ragnaros that had 450,000 siege damage? It was just insane. And then even the ETC, who wouldn't normally get some healing numbers, had 90,000 healing. I don't remember exactly who played him, but it was just a phenomenal game overall. And just to round out my stats, we have some really fun stats going on here. Most B-steps, of course, were Stixa with 18. Most sprays, of course, were Stixa with 40. But the most dances, our guest panelist himself, Arthanau, 130 dances. What do you have to say for yourself, sir?
I feel the music of my soul.
I don't know what I was expecting from that answer, but I think that's better than what I thought. And then the last thing I want to point out is I want to point out Lulu. She had 30 sprays this past week, which was the exact same number of sprays I had before in my match. So basically, the Nexus Cat support game is way too strong. Ban us both if you can. So, and that's I think that's it for Division D. Anything else, Arthanau, or anyone else that's paying attention?
So, like you said, every single match in Division D, especially in Division D East, has a whole lot of playoff implication. So just name a few, excuse me, off the top of my head. Actually, no, we'll save that for matchups to watch. So
I was going to say, I'm going to talk about it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll save that.
This guy's just stealing my thunder. It's outrageous.
A little bit of teasing.
All right, guys. I think that's it. Do we have any league-wide fun things we want to talk about? I'll make a quick little teaser for next week. One of the stats I'm going to be looking at for league-wide is, of course, B-steps, taunts, dances, and sprays. And there's some spicy numbers. Very spicy numbers. So do your best in this coming week, guys, to pump your numbers and see if you can overtake the #1 spots or see if you can get on the board. I'll be reporting on that next week, so keep an eye on that. Now, it is the time that we've all been waiting for. And by all of us, I mean Arthanau.
Oh, gosh.
It is time for the mystery game of the week. Arthanau, you're the executive producer and head analyst, right?
Yeah. That is correct.
And you know a lot about NGS, a lot about the individual divisions, correct?
No.
No, he does. I think he does.
I know a fair bit. I try to plug into everyone as much as possible, but it's a team effort.
How could you be the executive producer and not know? You are a very humble man, sir. Let us play a fun game. We are going to show you a blown-up image of a team's logo. And you're going to have to identify which team it is. And the inspiration for this actually came from Mongoose. Because when Mongoose was on the show, we were going to do a blown-up picture of a mongoose or a goose and make Mongoose decide which one it was. So, but this is a little bit more NGS-focused. So, barring any technical difficulties, are you ready to begin, Arthanau?
I am ready.
All right. For our first option, and hopefully Jayzon figures out a pretty good way to show this to everyone. We have 3 black pixels and a single red pixel.
Oh man, what?
Which team is this?
I think
I know
that's
this one.
Is it Moto Esports?
Oh my gosh, that's actually it.
Moto Miracle.
You weren't supposed to get this. This is outrageous, but you did get one. So
woo!
All right. Now, for number 2. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Which team?
Oh, that's Nexus Cats.
That's the Nexus Herds logo.
Oh, that's dirty.
Sorry, sir.
That's so dirty.
That was close. You almost had it. All right, now, so whatever answer you gave, I was going to say the other team. Because it's the same logo.
I
know. So you got that one wrong, though. All right. Number 3. Are you ready?
Is that Luxorian Sun?
That is not. That is from the same division. That's the Queen's Consorts. So, and I'll send these in chat first so everyone can see them. Here we go. Are you ready for number 4?
I'm ready.
It is 4 black dots, or 2 black dots, a green dot, and a purple dot.
Is it Lurk Patrol?
It is!
That was my guess, too.
Wow.
Good catch.
Very nice. All right, I think this one's pretty easy. Let us see what the people think this is. Number 5 coming at you right now.
No, I don't think I have any idea who that is.
It's just the letter E.
Yeah.
I know it.
Correct?
It's Team Rectum!
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed a trend yet, but hopefully you haven't, because it's more fun when you get the answers wrong than you get them right. All right, coming to you for the next pick. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh man, I have no idea who this is.
Oh, really? This one's like...
I thought this one was pretty easy.
I thought this one was pretty
Me
easy.
as well.
Oh man, hold on, it's on the tip of my tongue.
I have no idea what this logo pertains to their team for, but...
But it's there.
Right?
Is it, it's Bancho?
Yeah.
I feel like he's intentionally pretending like he doesn't know them, but he knows them.
You need a little drama, you know?
Yeah. All right, this one, I think this one's easy. I wish I would have made it more difficult, because apparently you know all the things, and I didn't think you were... That was the whole point, but whatever. All right, next one. Go for it. Which one are we showing right now?
Oh no, I don't actually know this one.
You're lying again.
No, is it Reborn Knights Black?
This is actually... That is not correct. This is a older logo, so I'm throwing you off a little bit.
Oh.
This team has since changed their logo.
Oh, that's dirty.
Mongoose knows the answer, though.
Did we skip one? I felt like we skipped one.
Yeah. Oh, no, I see the one we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the one that
No, you posted 2, so we're looking at the one below it.
They're in order, so...
The black and red one, right?
No, the one above it. Look above it.
Oh yeah, I know which one that one is.
And the team is... Mongoose, give it to us.
Pretty sure it's Minion Miners, right?
That is correct.
Oh.
It has the picture of a pickaxe right there.
It does, yeah.
This is what I wanted. I wanted to set you up for failure. And the last one. I don't know what your score is, but I'm going to assume it's really low. Tell us what this is.
Huh. Is it...
He's looking on the website, isn't he?
No. Is it an older logo for Moto?
It is not. I should just give you the, the 2 black pixels and the red one again.
Who is it?
This is Reborn Knights.
Oh,
Red.
The one I just guessed.
Yes, this is red. So, very nice. You did a lot better than I thought you were, so... congratulations, good work. Alrighty. Are you guys ready to introduce our caster / streamer / very busy NGS person of the week?
Ooh.
If I knew who it was, I'd say yes.
Yeah. All right. The streamer of the week is our boy Jayzon.
Ah.
Yes.
Jayzon.
Jayzon, as he's called in our little Discord.
Now it looks like both teams are going to go ahead and make it another brawl, but this time it's for the fortification camp. H2O charging in, does hit Solskito, the ring comes out, does find Diablo, stay a while and listen on the backside. Gonna set up a little bit of damage for Jailbait. They got a ton of damage spread out, but not finding any actual kills. There it is, Tyrande goes down. There's the reset, the Calaxy super low on mana. Does have that level 1, so should be able to at least still throw out the Qs, but Piemaker gonna dive over the wall, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange.
Jayzon, if you guys don't know, is also behind the scenes on all of the analyst productions, including Nexus Edge. He takes care of all of the editing. He takes care of all of the editing for all of the pregame show specials. He organizes the pregame or the shows. He is a machine. And on top of all that, he is the top streamer in or top caster in NGS right now. I think he's sitting at like 38 or something like that. So he is just really great. We really appreciate him. He's usually the one who picks out the streamer caster of the week. He gave us an option, and Arthanau and I decided that we were going to say thank you to him in our own special way and give him the streamer caster of the week, because he's just doing a phenomenal job. So have you guys seen any of his casts, Mongoose?
Yeah, seen him, been on him. I mean, in addition to the casts that Jay has done, he's sunk hours into the running of the league this season, between the caster guidelines and all the stuff he does. It's one of those things that, you know, from the outside looking in, you don't realize just how much time is sunk into it, and then he has put in so much time that the YouTube revamp has been beyond a successful. It was long overdue, and he 100% nailed what the NGS YouTube channel should be. Yeah, can't thank him enough for the work he's done, and all the casting and everything else that's gone along with it. He's really done a bang up job this season.
Absolutely. I couldn't, yes, 100% what you've said and more. Like, he is incredible. Wono, what do you got to say? Nice things about Jayzon.
Do I have to? No.
Good answer.
Jay's a great guy. Him and Mongoose actually just tag teamed our cast last week against VMS. They did a great job, but Jay's one of those guys that, yes, he casts a bunch and you can see him casting all the time, but if you looked at it, you'd probably just think that that's what he does for NGS, but he does so much more, and you guys have already touched on a lot of the things that he does around the league. So he's just one of those guys that has like his hands in almost every single like moving piece of NGS currently, and is doing a great job helping out wherever he can, providing a lot of editing and content help with us here at the Nexus Edge team, at the Showdown teams, the YouTube. He's really doing it all right now, and we couldn't be more grateful for the work he does for us.
So shout out to you, Jayzon. If you want to see his casts, you could check them out below. They'll also be on the NGS YouTube channel. If you want to see his work, you can look at the NGS YouTube channel. That is a labor of love, and we really appreciate you. So thank you again, Sir Jayzon. Now, moving on to the next segment. Are you ready for the top 5 highlights of the week? Yes, I'm ready. I hope you're ready too.
I'm ready.
So, coming in at number 5, we have the most logical pick. Go ahead and show the clip.
Rainer Wono popping the ultimate evolution, and here comes logical decision. There's the hunt that leaves Phoenix able to channel in the mid lane, as well as Illidan going down.
All right, and coming in at number, it is yeeted and deleted. Show the clip.
Someone can still get yeeted and deleted as the big swap onto Jayzon.
All of a sudden, he's in an awful rough spot here as he does blink away Philip K on the chase here. Going to be enough to secure the kill.
Number 3, we have the paparazzi on Celeb. Go ahead and show the clip.
What if my Dragon Arrow comes in? I can't even keep up.
Just never got his souls back.
Yeah. Switch target. Sylvanas is putting out the damage here, though. Kidnap onto Dahaka. Doesn't really know where to go with it, though. They're all falling to the core as well.
Oh, I think the boss gets this.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. They're trying. They're putting everything they have into it. Sylvanas, please. Sylvanas, please. Sylvanas, please. Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Abusement clutches it out there.
And at number 2, we have... this one is not against Regen Blue. Show the clip.
Interrupt mosh pit. So as long as one person doesn't get caught in it, if they have the right cooldowns, they can actually stall that mosh pit. As Leap is going to come out into the backline onto Osteel. Philip getting super low in the back, but the 4-man mosh into the ring. The swipe, a little bit of counter ability usage there. Didn't even think of the words, but...
And coming in at number 1, we have Kobo MVP. Show the clip.
Now we're at 95% as finally Excel Esports able to move in. They dropped that VP, should have the APOC, but it never came out. And look at this, Diablo's down, Souls reset, Zeratul falls as well, and body blocked in.
And that's it. That's all she wrote. That Entomb was insane. That clip coming to us from Cawthon. So of course, my boy out there is going to get himself a skin. So congratulations to you. Guys, what did you think of the Entomb there?
That was
Mongoose start. Oh. Yeah, or let's go with Mongoose.
I say it wasn't just the Entomb, which was fantastic. It was the Entomb combined with the Lazy Susan that very kindly delivered the entire enemy team right to where they needed to be. It was beautifully done, and it was a little like a little conveyor belt of death.
Yeah, I really liked it. He showed this to me earlier this week, and my jaw dropped at work. So that was really good. Whoa, what do you have to say about the logical pick?
Oh, Ulysses, my poor sweet Illidan child, you got deleted so quickly.
And when we went to the cut or whatever, I was watching it and I was like, wait, what hero was that?
Where did he go?
What was he playing?
I was casting it. It happened so fast that actually I didn't realize that he was dead for about 3-4 seconds. I was like, oh yeah, Illidan's, he's gone too.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an incredible I don't know, Hammer of Justice. What's Ragnaros'
Sulfurous Smash.
Hammer of Sulfurous.
It's a hammer. You were like there, basically.
It's all good. Arthanau, which of these clips were you a fan of?
I really like the one not against Region Blue because if you guys notice, there was actually an Edge question asking who has the most highlights for or against, and I'm pretty sure it's Region Blue, and that's because they're all against Region Blue.
True statement. I mean, you can't get on the highlight reel the real way. You gotta find some other way to get a little pub, right?
That's not a factual statement, so don't check those numbers. But I'm pretty sure most of them are against Region Blue. So it felt really good seeing Region Blue do something good.
Yeah, we had two other ones on there, but they were never like these great plays. Like one of them was like Jayzon slipped off to the side and channeled it for the win while we were getting slaughtered on the other side of the map. So it was a highlight, but it wasn't really like a highlight. I mean, the other one was when our ABBA player 2v1 Garrosh and Leo as Monstrosity. Like it wasn't a highlight; it was more like, oh, that's cute.
I mean, heck, not I'm mentioning that Arthanau swap was against Region Blue, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Poor Jayzon.
Yes, yeeted and deleted. He was. Any other highlights you guys liked? They're all good, of course.
We had a good week.
The core to end Game 3. That's the last Heroic Division regular season game. The winner's the #1 seed.
Yeah.
What a way for that game, that set to end. Abusement Park pulling off minor upset because they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
But probably Celeb was the favorite coming in this season. So for
sure.
Abusement Park to end up #1 with that one game edge, and not even one game, that like one little boss smack edge to get the #1 seed was a great way for Heroic to end that week.
Very nice. And of course they're starting their playoffs as you mentioned earlier.
This week?
Yes, sir. So that brings us to our next point. It is the matchups to watch. Mongoose, are you going to tell us about the Heroic matchups to watch?
I am. There are two, because there are only two.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Celeb Gaming and Abusement Park get to enjoy the fruits of their labor and get a bye week this week.
Very nice.
Heroic, unlike the other divisions, are a double elimination playoff, so a little bit different. But this week we have Insomnia and Moto. Matchup #1, and matchup #2, Revive versus Montreal Style Bagels. Not on the calendar yet because they just got the brackets yesterday, but keep an eye out. All of them should be good matches. And in Division A, we'll just keep on rolling because I'm going to take them too.
Well, actually, going to Heroic, any predictions?
I mean, it's hard to see Revive not winning that. Montreal Style Bagels only has one win this season. They just picked it up against Insomnia this week. Revive has been clearly the one of the top 3 teams. Revive took a game off of Abusement Park and Celeb in their set. They got 2-1, 2-1, but they took games off those teams. So Revive is very clearly the 3rd best team. So it would be surprising if they didn't advance. The Insomnia Moto game, however, should be pretty close. That one really should go 2-1. I could see it going either way. Maybe a slight edge to Moto, but I mean that's really
slight edge.
Edge.
You said the word. Sorry, I didn't mean to detract with memes. So continue.
But now we'll go to Division A. I'm going to give us a match to watch and a team to watch.
Perfect.
So team to watch is Regen Retro because they're giant slackers and they have barely played any games this season, and they have not 5 games scheduled in the next 2 weeks, not 6, but 7 games on the calendar in the next 2 weeks, plus 1 Heroes Lounge game too. They're actually playing 8.
Yeah.
So if you want to see a team with the potential to rocket through the standings, turns out when you play 7 games in 2 weeks, you can really accumulate some points.
Yeah.
You don't say.
The matchup to watch: number 1, Nobo Esprouts. Number 3, and very close to number 2, Dread Pirates. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific this week. That is definitely, if you are only going to catch 1 Division A game this week, why? But if you're only going to catch 1, that is the one to catch.
Whoa, no. What matches should we watch this week?
Well, Mongoose actually stole the match I was planning on talking about. Number 1, Nobo against number 3, Dread Pirates. Worth mentioning for that match in particular, Dread Pirates has just lost their support player, the real Uni, over to Queen's Consorts.
They did.
So, interesting to see if that's going to affect them or if it's still going to be full steam ahead and they're going to be able to give Nobo a good showing. So, with that being said, let me pick another game to watch, and I think I'm going to go for tonight, 7 p.m. PST, Pigeon Stitches and Clouded Mines.
Very nice. It's one of those 4 from Division D.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Now, Arthanau, I guess it's your turn to pick a game or something.
So, over in C West, I gotta give it to Plug Walk versus Dive Hard. They are the 4th and 5th seed, but this match has some pretty big implications. I mean, if either of these teams get a domination, that could thrust them into 2nd place.
Yeah. When Plug Walk is just... I casted one of their games this a lot of fun to watch. They do not pick meta picks.
Is a very fun team to watch. I mean, if you want to just watch a team for the sake of watching a team, Plug Walk is one to watch.
Yeah.
And over on C East, we have Calculated Throw versus Almost Legends. And let me see if they have that on schedule. Unfortunately, Plug Walk versus Dive Hard is not on schedule yet. So, guys, please get that game on schedule because I want to watch that one. Calculated Throw versus Almost Legends is actually our Monday night showdown. It is Monday, 7 Central. I don't know if this show will be out before then, so if it comes out Monday, that's tonight.
If it comes out after that, it's
If
yesterday.
it comes out after, take a look at the
Yesterday,
VODs, Calculated Throw versus Almost Legends. So, that game is a good one to watch because... Hold on, I gotta pull up the standings to explain the implications. So, both of them are... in playoff runnings. They're both going to make the playoffs, but Calculated Throw, if they get a domination here, it'll thrust them into a favorable seed, so top 4. And Almost Legends, they are holding on to 2nd pretty well, but this is their last game of the season, and all the teams below them have 2 games left and can be overthrown if they do not get a domination on this game. If Almost Legends gets a domination, they could actually possibly get into 1st, depending on the Found Vikings results as well. So, Almost Legends has a lot riding on this game. It's their last game. Win, 1st place, lose, they could be moving down into possibly 4th. Possibly 5th, No, 5th place has 10 games, so not 5th, but they could go down to 4th place, depending on everyone else. There's a lot riding on this for a 2nd and a 6th seed team, which is to show how close the division is, considering a 2nd place team and a 6th place team has that much playoff implication.
Very nice.
And those are my games for C.
All right, and as I alluded to earlier, if there's a Division D match happening this week, I recommend you watch it because it will have playoff implications. To poll the panelists here, just raise your hand. Who thinks that the Nexus Cats number 2 versus Full Meta Jacket number 3 is going to be a good match to watch?
Yeah, I'll bite.
Oh boy, it's a 4 for 4. Yes, that's right. This is another one, as Arthanau was just talking about. If the Nexus Cats win, they advance to 1. I think it's a domination to get first. If they only get 1 map, they are 3rd. If they get if they lose all, if they get dominated, they're 4th place. It's just it's going to be a really important game. In this, I think the exact opposite is the same for Jacket. If they win, they get first. If they lose, they're not first. So definitely going to be a very good match to watch. Another one, number 4, Frankfurters versus number 7, Calculated to Throw. They're in the top 4 there in Division D East. If Frankfurters lose the match, that definitely has different implications for Nexus Cats, Full Meta Jacket, Save the Murloc, and those other teams at the top. Looking at the other side of the Division D geographical split, Bugin Squad number 4 versus Clouded Minds number 1. Just a solid matchup. And then Pigeon Stitches number 6 at OC Peach Boys number 3. Again, another solid matchup out of Division D. So there's other Division D matches that I'm not mentioning, but those likely have playoff implications. So please watch Division D if you are at all interested, like I am. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. All right, guys. Any other matchups to watch? No?
Honestly,
Great.
just watch as much NGS as you can, because there's a whole lot
every
of
matchup's a good matchup. But...
Absolutely. All right, guys. It is that time again where I ask you questions that the community asked us, and then you give us your answers. So, are you ready, panelists? I sure hope so. Thumbs up from Mongoose. That's good enough for me. All right. Valkamir asks, "What maps?"
A lot of questions.
Yeah, he asks
a lot of questions. Good on him.
I have 2 questions from him this week, so he's making his rounds. What maps do you feel are the best bribe maps? Explain your conclusion. Mongoose, why don't you start us out?
Are we limiting our answers to only the ones in the competitive pool, or generally speaking?
Yeah, let's just talk about in our standard pool right now.
Yeah, that's probably...
I agree with that.
The answer might be none. I don't know, but Mongoose, why don't you tell us, what maps do you feel are the best bribe maps?
Off the top of my head, Dragonshire, you get a lot of value out of bribe. A lot of bot lane pressure out of the Bruisers and the Giants. Controlling that bottom lane can allow you to rotate away and control the rest of the map. A lot of pressure goes into that bottom, especially if the opposing team doesn't have a lot of wave clear and ways to deal with it. So if you can really control the Mercs in the bottom lane, where there's 3 of those camps, I can go a long, long way. Also, honorable mention to Towers of Doom. Same thing, bottom lane prioritization with those pumpkin sappers down there. A lot of value there.
Now, I want to go backwards 1 question, because this is going to show you why I'm in bronze. Which heroes have bribe? It's Brightwing, Falstead, Nova?
Yep, and Murky.
And Vikings still have bribe?
Vikings still have it.
Okay, so there's 2 specialists, or supports, and then Falstead, Brightwing, Nova.
Correct.
Okay, so those 3 are the ones that are probably going to be played, unless you're Grogman on Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, who might be played or playing Murky.
And TLV still sees some niche play here and there. I don't know how much they've been played this NGS season, but
yeah,
there are a couple people who are known to bust them out every now and then.
Absolutely. So, what?
You got all robot-y for a second, but I'm assuming you're asking me my question or my opinions. I'm actually going to answer with 2 other maps than what Mongoose mentioned. So my big 2 for bribing is Cursed Hollow and Infernal Shrines. And the reason being for both of those, while Infernal Shrines in particular, those Khazra goat camps, aren't that powerful, what's really good about those 2 maps in particular is they both have very strong objectives localized on one part of the map, where there are lanes that can have the potential to be quite far away. So if you're timing those bribes or those camp timings really well for when the objective is coming up or when your team is making a big push to the objective, then it kind of makes the other team have to make a really tough macro decision where do we want to concede the objective or do we want to just let this lane just push in? Like what's the lesser of two evils here?
Right.
So both of those maps have decent camps, a lot of camps, and camps that are far away from strong objectives.
Right, and especially with the Falstead and the Brightwing, you could steal, for example, the bottom siege and then fly back up to a top point and still be viable.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's go on to our number 2 question of the week. This is from Aura again. Who has been the most underdog team for each division that has surprised you? And I'm going to start with Save the Murloc in Division D East. I definitely counted them out. I think they were in the bottom of the division for more than half of the season, and then they've really just skyrocketed. They're now number 1 currently in the division. So definitely an underdog team that is currently doing very well. Definitely a team to watch. So Arthanau, since you didn't get an answer on the last one, what is an underdog team?
So, actually, I'm going to mention one that's in the same division. I would actually give it to Luciodology.
Yeah.
They are a team that has always kind of been bottom half of their respective division the past few seasons, but this season they have taken off really big games against some of the top teams. They have dominated a lot of the top teams. They have done exceptionally well in Division D East, and I know going into our match against them, I was actually quite scared of them. They are a very good team, and they surprised me quite a bit this season. I counted them out before the season started, and boy was I wrong.
Whoa, no, what about you? Underdog team.
My pick is going to go over to Gimme the D-Shield in Division A, which maybe is not controversial. I don't know. I think prior to this season they were a Div C team. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they were in Div C.
They were.
But they picked up Rexpa, and through the magic of Rexpa, they have been not dominating Division A, but definitely holding their own and proving that one player doesn't just make a team. The rest of the team has kind of stepped up around Rexpa, and while he's still obviously a very strong, very impactful player, we've seen teams with one strong player and a bunch of less strong, less skilled players not do so hot, not do so well. So I want to give it up to the rest of the team on Give Me the D-Shield for really stepping up their game, pulling their weight, and making it happen in Div A.
Very nice. Mongoose, anyone that you got your eye on for underdogs?
I don't know about underdogs, but maybe surprise team. B East, Gilly Shark. They've always been, the last couple seasons, kind of middle of the pack in B East, and then they get hot, pull off a couple upsets, and they meet Hodus in their date in the B East finals, right? But during the regular season, they're always kind of, 4-5. This season, they're not. Not only are they not 4-5, until last week, they were far and away top dog, and not just in their division, but one of the most dominant teams in any of the divisions when compared with their own. There were like 3 or 4 teams that were just shellacking everybody, and they were on that list. So I'm surprised at how good they have been consistently for the duration of the season. Not that they haven't shown they could do it, but to do it that long and just really beating up on teams, they've had a great year.
Very nice. Now, moving on. This is from Cawthon. His question was, what tilts you the most? So, Arthanau, why don't you start it out?
Are we talking in an NGS match or just in general with Heroes of the Storm?
My answer is going to be in general, so
okay.
I think that's fair.
Probably what tilts me the most is whenever I queue Storm League with you.
That's weird, because my tilted most moment is queuing Storm League with you.
Yeah, exactly. No, but here's the thing. It's not you. It's the people playing with you gets me against and with.
Yeah.
Whenever we do a queue, we have some good times. Like, Dahaka's a main tank, apparently, according to these people. And,
these people bronze people.
Yeah, bronze people. And that tells me, I'm like, you know, always having to fight for the objective, even though, you know, sometimes it's better to not take a level 8 versus level 10 fight 3v5, but, you know, the objective's up. You must fight it if you're in bronze.
You have to. That's the rules.
It's written in the rules.
That is the rules.
Offlane actually doesn't exist in bronze.
That's true. That's true.
If you're in the offlane, you're actually, quote, not with the team. So you're losing the game for everyone. I'm going to piggyback on that because the thing that tilts me the most is Bronze League. Sometimes I just like look at what people are typing to me and I'm just like, I know better. I'm not a better player, but I know better. Oh, man. All right, Wono, what tilts you the most?
I got a couple things here. So,
playing with Turd Herder? Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever actually had the honor and pleasure of playing a game with you. Have I?
We'll have to change that this week.
We'll have to change that. I'm working on making my Smurf account right now.
Yeah.
So playing support solo queue or just kind of support in general can be a very tilting experience at times. Yeah. Because support's one of those roles where if the team's firing on all cylinders, you're hitting your follow-ups, you're hitting your CC, you're feeling amazing, but no matter how well you're playing, if the rest of the team isn't playing well, there's not a lot a well-played support is going to do. You can get some peels, you can keep some people alive in clutch situations, but more often than not, that's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Your teammates are going to die. They're going to do stupid shit. You can't save them.
Yeah. My favorite is playing Rhaegar, using Ancestral on someone, and then having them go to a bush and teleport back. My absolute favorite.
I need mana.
Yeah. No, they don't need mana because it's bronze and they don't use their spells. So. Yeah.
But the other one, more specific to like my personal team in NGS, is when the rest of the team kind of gets on tilt, or some players get on tilt, and I'm sure if Ziltoid was here, he could attest to that. That I myself don't tilt too often. I'm pretty level-headed as the captain. I can try and keep a steady ship, but it's really tough when I feel like the rest of the team is starting to doubt themselves, or they're having an off night and there's not a lot that I can do to kind of bring us back in line. So that is kind of when it starts affecting me, is when I'm seeing other people, it affecting them. Yeah,
no, and I think that's 100% correct, and I think a lot of people watching this would relate with that for sure. Mongoose, what tilts you?
I'm going to take the Wona route. I'm going to give you the generally speaking. And the generally speaking is there's always that guy.
Yeah, he's on Nexus.
Yeah, he's on Nexus Cats.
That's right. The one who dies 9 times, but it's somebody else's fault. The one who doesn't show in draft and then picks a second support when you needed a tank.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty tilting.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's a little bit of actually the opposite of Wono. You know, Wono plays support, I play tank, and so a lot of what I do sets the table for what the rest of the team does. You know, if the tank is struggling, the team is gonna struggle. There's like no two ways about it. So what tilts me is when I'm not playing up to my own expectations of myself. So when I feel like I'm setting my team up for failure, I get upset with myself. So when me playing up to my own level that I'm capable of is probably the biggest one.
Honorary mention to hitting a 4-man mosh and having your Stukov flailing swipe.
Yes. Honorary mention to that.
Shout out to you, Osteel.
Ooh, that's a deep cut.
To piggyback on the last 2 points, whenever you play Heroes of the Storm on a competitive level in a league like NGS, it's more mind game than people really think. I mean,
oh yeah,
technical skill will get you a long way, but I think a first place team in a bad mood will almost always lose to a last place team and feeling really good about themselves and riding a high. It's all about your attitude a lot of times. I mean, big comebacks happen from trusting your team, not from tilting. And if you tilt and you're trying to make a comeback, the comeback's not going to happen. If your team has lost morale, the game's already over. You're just going to slowly slip and slide. You might have a few good moments, but you're going to slip and slide and fall. But if you're trusting in your team, you're trusting in yourself and your own skill, your team skill, that's where the comebacks happen. That's where you see teams making a talent to your advantage swing the other way and still balling to the finish. So it's all about your attitude and your mind if you want to win in a league.
Wise words from former captain of the Nexus Cats, Art. So. All right, and last question. We'll do. Let's do it kind of rapid fire here. So this is Valcomer again. Who is the most underrated hero in the division that you play / analyze? So Mongoose, why don't you throw that out there? Who do you think is the most underrated hero in your division?
Oh, good question. Specifically B West, I'm going to say Stukov, because there's about 4 supports in our division that probably their top healer is Stukov. Lompico, Key, Osteal. That's one of the reasons you look at B West. The Stukov numbers are higher than everyone else. Is there's a small group of them that really like their Stukov. So I think he gets the higher prioritization in playing B West because of that.
Very nice. Whoa. What about you?
This answer is coming purely because we just had our butts beat it by this past weekend, but a hero that kind of flies under the radar and often is pretty underestimated, I feel, is Zarya. So, and she's kind of one of those ones, I think we've talked kind of in the same vein before, but she's a hero that you don't get a lot of practice playing against. So when you do end up seeing her, you might not necessarily really be all that practiced in what do I do when I see her. Right. And she kind of has an issue where she's not really a traditional offlane bruiser because she excels being with the team, but she can't be a main tank either because she doesn't quite have all the tools. So it's a little funky and a little tricky to fit her into your draft, but I think she really does shine on a couple maps if you can slot her into the draft. Maps being like BOE, Volskaya, where they have a lot of small rotations or limited rotations and a lot of team fighting.
There we go. I'm going to start because I don't want BJ or Arthanau to say my answer. I think one of the more underrated heroes is Ragnaros. And we just saw, like we talked about earlier, the Save the Murloc versus Frankfurter's match where Ragnaros really just turned it around for them. It was insane. 450,000 healing damage. We've seen clips on this show where the Ragnaros hops onto the fort and murders the whole team right there. I think there was a couple weeks ago. I think he's a really underrated player for Division D because I think he's, like you were saying with Zarya, I don't think he's someone that Division D players see a lot of, and I think you can get a lot of value from that. So, Ragnaros. Arthanau, go ahead.
All right, so I got a real answer and I got a joke answer.
Of course you do.
Oh, you know where this is going.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. So Illidan is not.
I did not know where it was going.
is not valued enough. I mean, the guy clears camp so well. You know, with the hunt, you can go all the way across the map. You can't die with metamorphosis. You do not die as Illidan. He is the perfect battery. He is the best hero in the game, hands down.
Unless there's a Sulfurous Smash waiting for him.
That's true. That's true. That is the one exception. The one counter that Illidan is Ragnaros, which is clearly not getting a lot of value right now. Anyway, so Illidan is the best hero in the game. But jokes aside, I think for Division D in particular, Sylvanas. I think some of the higher divisions have really started to embrace her. Maybe thanks to Ziltoid and Ryokai. Maybe not, but I think higher. I mean, we're seeing her stats go off the wall now with some of the other divisions. She's doing quite well. Division D, I have not seen very many Sylvanas games played, and
she's definitely not on from last week. She's definitely not on the list.
And whenever she is played, she's typically not played well. She's definitely more of a higher skill cap hero nowadays because her passive is now activatable, and she's pretty squishy and to be played as a assassin as opposed to an offlaner pushing and all that stuff. But considering how squishy she is, you have to be really mindful of when you're fighting, how you're going to fight, and initiation and all that stuff. So I think she's underrated. I don't think Div D has given her enough attention. I certainly have not. And so Sylvanas is my real pick.
All right, guys. That's good. That's it. Show's over. We did it. Awesome.
Hooray.
Yay. There was great jubilation. All right. Thank you to all of you guys watching, all of you guys on the panel. Wono, why don't you give some thank yous and tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, thank you to Mongoose for making himself available. Ziltoid was unfortunately out sick today, so Mongoose graciously agreed to step in on a pretty short notice and got himself really caught up with the help of Key with those heroic and Div A stats. Shout out to all of our analysts, as always, doing a great job. And you can find me at WonoHots on Twitter, or, again, you can't escape me on the Discord. I am everywhere. I'm always watching. Look out for my reactions.
Yeah. All right, Mongoose, why don't you give your thanks and go ahead and tell the people where they can reach you.
Easiest place, also the Discord. I am always on there. But thanks to Ziltoid, I'm just keeping his seat warm. I hope he feels better soon. But also this season, as we kind of wind down and start ramping up for the playoffs, has really been fantastic. So the community at large, all the casters, all the staff, everybody that's made this season go so great. It's really been fantastic and fun to be a part of. So thanks to everybody for their hard work and keeping the season running strong and smooth.
Right to the finish. So, Arthanau, go ahead. This is the first time you've been on camera for Nexus Edge. Give us your thank yous and tell the men and women where they can find you.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you to everyone who makes Nexus Edge possible. Wono, Ziltoid, Turd Herder, Mongoose, twice now. Yeah, all you guys are what makes the show special and what makes the show possible. I mean, it's a hard job really being in tune to the entire league and trying to put your thoughts out there, your opinions, to be crucified by other people who may or may not agree. But,
by the internet in general.
Yeah, but I think most people enjoy it and really like what you guys have to say. And so, I mean, this show is you guys, and it's wonderful working with you guys. So thank you guys. Thank you, Jayzon, for having some trust in me to put this together. You're killing it, and you're an absolutely excellent headcaster, and it's been my pleasure working with you, Jayzon. Congrats on Caster of the Week. Sorry for going off script, picking you instead of who you suggested. My team, I guess.
Yeah.
My mom.
That's a running joke.
No, this sounds like the Titanic. Shout out to Jayzon, my team, I guess.
No, that's a running joke. And you can find me over on Twitter at Arthanau_hots. Sometimes I tweet jokes. I really don't do anything on Twitter, though.
I was going to say, I don't see many tweets, but... All right, guys. Before I give my thank yous, I just want to do a quick shout-out to thank the Patreon peoples. You guys are great. Thank you for all of your support for NGS. I think the financial backing really helps NGS continue, as Mongoose has attested to earlier today. So thank you to you guys. Keep up the good work. If you want the Patreon backing prizes, go ahead and get those backing numbers in soon, TM, as those wrap up here. Also want to give a quick thank you and a quick shout out to our research analysts, Key, BMed, Monkas, -40, Ryokai, Himibo, Chaotic Order, and special shout out to Himibo and Key this week, helping us with Division C and Division A, respectively. All of you guys, this would be a lot more difficult without you, so thank you. Also, shout out to Phalindrith. Yesterday, we were originally planning on filming yesterday, but Ziltoid was sick. But I made a quick call to him. Could you please update Stats of the Storm? And like that, it was ready to go. So shout out to him. Thank you for being on your toes to help us out. We really appreciate it. And you could find me, Turd Herder Hots, on Twitter. You can find me in the Discord. You can't find me on Twitch.
Not yet.
Yeah. I mean, my account's still there. You can see the one single clip I have still on Twitch. That's it. I can't even see my follower. It's terrible. 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 All right, guys. Any final thank yous? Anyone?
Oh, thank you to Mrs. Arthanau for letting me record this today on her birthday.
Yes.
And happy
birthday
to Mrs. Arthanau. So,
it's the special Mrs. Arthanau birthday episode. If you
yeah.
Jayzon, put the title in. All right, guys. This is Turd Herder here saying adios, amigos. Stay safe in the Nexus, and remember to always take your hats to the edge. The show that will help you get an edge on your competition. I'm your host, Turd Herder, and
no, you're good. You're good.
All right, we'll do it one more time. All right, and coming in at number 2, it is Yeeted and Deleted. Yeeted and Deleted. Wait, so what does yeeted mean?
Yeeted is like
throw.
Throw or chuck. You yeet something.
I always just figured it was like dab, like a different dab.
Hit him with the yeet.